Hello guys, and welcome to The Art of Cheesing. We are at episode 3 already. Wow, I have to burp. Nice. Alright, so, this Art of Cheesing episode, already getting into the cheese that we were talking about. Maybe I could throw some stuff up on the screen here in a second. Already getting into when I was talking about like maybe doing some actual more personal gameplays. We got my friend DeTaaiL here with the GKS. And this gameplay was supposed to, we're talking about this. We wanted to make a statement. Okay, the GKS. Shit. The GKS, I'm not gonna lie, it's ass. All right, it's still ass, but it's not that ass. All right, it's kind of ass, but it's not that ass. So that's kind of what we were getting at. We used the GKS for like an entire session, and at first we were both convinced that it was just like awful, and then towards the end of the session, we kind of just like figured out how to use it. It's just a different gun, and you have to use it a lot differently than you would use I don't know, say like the Maddox or even the ICR, for example. So once we both figured out how to, he's using the graph here in the beginning, all right, just gotta forgive that. But once we figured out how to use the GKS a little bit more effectively, I think that we both warmed up to it. So what I said in the beginning, I think sums it up pretty well. It was ass, but it's not that ass. You know, after a while, we started to discover that and actually have some fun with it. So, memes aside, like actual opinion on the GKS, I think it's a decent gun. I'm still kind of torn on it, honestly. Like, in theory, it should be better than the ICR if you think about it, because yeah, it has a bit of a longer time to kill. At like medium to long range, which is where you're going to want to use the GKS, but the GKS has some pretty freaking insane mobility, and that kind of makes up for it most of the time. From what we were playing with it, I think we both agreed that it actually, that those statistics about it kind of made up for it. The fast aim, it's got grip too as well, the nice strafe speed. He uses it with extended mag, which I think is actually kind of insane as well. So we've warmed up to it. Instead of like a house plumber ass, it's more of a like a Lady Gaga ass. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. And in this gameplay, we got the Bengal camo, and like I said, I don't know if I could figure out the exact attachments. I'll ask him, but I know he's got extended mags on it. And other than that, I think he might run like quick draw and long barrel. Yeah, I didn't just ask him live in the gameplay. You guys didn't hear that. I was actually texting my mom to pick up some Pop-Tarts tomorrow. Anyways, this is I might do 2 gameplays for this one, because I feel like we could do 2 for this episode. But this gameplay is also on grind, which I don't know if I ever did a video. I think I did a video talking about the zombies update. I don't know if I ever did a video talking about the grind map, but I think this Art of Cheesing episode, there will be some cheesing, trust me, would also be a good opportunity to talk about the grind map in Black Ops 4 a little bit. I think that it's actually pretty fun. They added this map in for free just recently.
Yeah, if you think 2 months ago was recent loot, you dumb.
It's not recently anymore. Holy shit, my brain is screwed. I think they added this in like 3 months ago. It might have been like 3 months ago at this point. It feels like it was yesterday. That's crazy. It's not too old, okay? It's not too old, it's not too new. And I think that it's pretty fun. Of course, it is another remake, but on the bright side, some of the other remakes, they put those out only for the Black Ops Pass. One thing that I can really appreciate about this grind map is that they actually released it for everybody. So that's why you see it a lot now, like on my Black Ops 4 streams, or if you play Black Ops 4, you know what I'm talking about. Grind pops up pretty frequently now, and honestly, I don't mind it. I actually think it plays pretty well in this game. I do have to critique it a little bit for TDM. For TDM, it can get a little heavy on 2 sides. That side right there, where he just hit him with that Hellstorm, and the other side is just the middle. Like the middle and that side lane are pretty much where like all the action goes down. That kind of bothers me, but at the same time, I don't know if it's the spawns, I don't know if it's the map, I don't know if it's the way people play it, but it can be kind of frustrating. But at the same time, I can't knock it too hard, because honestly, a lot of the maps in Black Ops 4 are already like that. Actually, I don't even have to give examples. I feel like every map in Black Ops 4 is like that. And I mean, I would argue that 3-lane map design in general kind of ends up like that anyways most of the time, so it's not really entirely the game's or the spawn's fault. I do think part of it is with Black Ops 4, don't get me wrong. But, you know, for example, I'm going to use...
Oh, nice aim there, DeTaaiL, nice aim.
No one saw that. I think that's... We go back to Black Ops 2. You have really classic 3-lane maps. You have, like, Standoff, Raid, I could even use Slums as an example. And you have the more frequented lanes, right? Well, obviously, middle is always hot. But you usually have, between the other 2 lanes, like the left and the right lane, you usually have, like, one that's more focused on, like, Raid. It's usually ringside. Get the final kill right there with 31 and 6, or 33 and 7. What the hell? Bro, I swear I watched this gameplay and it was 31 and 6. Now it's 33 and 7. I'm actually lost. Really quickly to end on my thought before I get into the next gameplay here. You usually have one side that's more frequented. So, like, Raid, you know, is ringside. Standoff. Actually, I feel like Standoff was pretty even. But Express, it's usually the side by the ticket booth, I would argue, is generally like the most frequented spot. So that's just kind of the way things work out. But I guess it just depends on if the map has a good flow, and I think that Grind has a good flow. I'll take a quick break here. I want to get into this next gameplay. All right, and we're back with the next gameplay here. This one's going to be on firing range, and again, I think like starting off with the Grav and then switching to the GKS like fairly soon into the game. I got the update. Well, 2 things I got to mention. So one thing for all the gameplay is that he doesn't play with game audio because he's a cheese. So just that is out there. And the general loadout on the GKS is something along the lines of extended mags, grip 1 and 2, and quick draw. So that's kind of similar. I think that I run red dot, grip 1 and 2, and long barrel. So he sticks with the iron sight, runs grip 1 and 2, quick draw, and extended mag. So it's a bit of a different loadout. We both run 4 attachments technically, but a bit of a different set. So part of the reason why that is, I just want to explain this quickly, is because I use the variant of the GKS, and the variant of the GKS has absolutely awful iron sights, whereas this normal GKS, I actually think those iron sights are pretty good. So for the second half, I could do a little bit of riff on the gameplay, but I got something a little more creative in mind for this Art of Cheesing episode. So one thing, like I said, I'll bring up the comments from the Discord that I want to bring up on the screen. But there's a bit of a discussion around Clad and I. We did a tier list podcast, which got the most reaction out of any podcast that we've done. So we already said that we were going to do more of those in the future anyways, but I mean, we definitely will now. And maybe like do a little reaction, maybe even like some guests on it reacting to the stuff that we chose for that one and stuff like that. And I think that could be fun. But one thing that we ended up doing is that for our COD section, or for our COD player tier list, oh my god, that guy was so bad. If that 4-piece would have been nasty. I got sidetracked by that almost 4-piece. That was almost sick. Clatton set it up beforehand, so a lot of the time we kind of like work together, or one of us will come up with the outline, but we both know the outline for the podcast going into it, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's usually I'll come up with the outline, give it to Clatton, or he'll come up with it, give it to me, but either way, we're both going to be aware of what's going on going into it, so if either of us have any ideas, we can bring those up before we do it. We didn't do it for this podcast for some reason, maybe just to make it a little more fun, add a little surprise element to it because it's tier list ranking, and I don't know, maybe just an extra way to keep it interesting. Also picking up the Vapor here. I did not realize I used the Vapor in this gameplay. I actually kind of low-key like the Vapor now. So what ended up happening with that is there are a few players that I play COD with a decent amount, or have played with a decent amount, that were looking for their ranking, but they haven't played with Clatton yet, so they didn't end up on the list. And that's why I decided to do a DeTaaiL Art of Cheesing here, because he's one of those players that did not end up on the list, because I don't think he's played with Clatton yet on Black Ops 4. Maybe in the way beginning, and we just don't remember. I don't know. Like, I honestly think that might be possible, but so long ago at this point. Who fudging knows? We decided to do that ranking anyways, and because of that, there were a few people, and DeTaaiL was one of them, that got left out. And he made the claim in the Discord that he would be A tier. And honestly, hot take, I gotta agree. So I think that that torque was definitely Roman right there. And I might at some point get some episodes on the other people that didn't get included, because I think that a Roman episode would be pretty fun. I might have to riff on the gameplay a little more for that one. But I gotta agree with the sentiment. I actually do think that DeTaaiL's A tier, especially considering he doesn't play this game that much, but when he plays it, he still does pretty well. And you also gotta take into consideration that these gameplays are just TDM gameplays with the GKS, which is a very like specific play style sort of gun. Whereas like I feel like he does pretty well when he just runs around with the Maddox and stuff like that, but obviously we're getting some good games in here with the GKS. And another thing too is that he's pretty solid with the sniper. Like he might honestly be S tier with the snipe, and I've got double proof of that. The best play video that I uploaded the other day, you can check that one out. And DeTaaiL also started uploading to YouTube again recently, and I'll link his channel in the description, and the video that the comeback video that he came out with, which is a mostly sniper playlist focus video, which is why I did not want to do any sniper gameplay for this, because he already made that video and plus the best play, so that would have just been a little, I don't know, I think that would have been a little overbearing. Like, you don't need to see more sniper gameplay. If I wanted to really prove the A spot, that's tough. If I wanted to really prove the A spot on the tier list, I had to go in and show some actual just TDM gameplay, which is a little more run-of-the-mill, I guess you could say, for Black Ops 4. Like, this is the general thing that you're gonna see people playing. So hit him with the A tier because, again, I genuinely think he's an S tier sniper, at least in our group, I would say. But in terms of like actually playing the game, I think he's pretty solid with any type of weapon. And also the comms and the chemistry is a big factor, and I think he's pretty good in those areas. Because, you know, there's always some people like to make fun of their comms. Okay, Jared, all right. But at the end of the day, comms is kind of a thing that you have to work on, and I don't know. It does come a little bit easier for some people than it does for others, but clearly it comes naturally, or he's worked on it a decent amount, because I think that his communication is pretty solid. So if he played any like competitive or something like that, I think that he'd be good at that as well, or at least that would be a good aspect of his gameplay, because there are some people that we play with that I think are good in pubs, but when they actually like have to call out for a game or something like that, you can tell that they're just not used to it, or that they wouldn't be very good at it in a competitive setting or something like that. I feel like that's not the case for DeTaaiL. I know that's not the case from some of our Halo doubles gameplays. But yeah, so like, and on top of that as well, we don't play too many objective modes, but when we do, I feel like he's a pretty good, like, you know, non-selfish player, which I think I can apply to myself as well, and any other player that would be in the A tier is, you know, being willing to be that person to just push out first, or get on the ball when they need to, get on the flag, whatever, you know, whatever it is, whatever mode you're playing, get on the hard point for this game. And that's a big attribute that I look for in players. Is I hate when players, you know, when they need to be that first person pushing it and they hesitate. That shit pisses me off. And I'm gonna end on that note. We'll get some more. You know what? There'll be some more riffing on the gameplay and some more like actual philosophy behind like different gameplay discussion, because I think that kind of got into that a little bit at the end. I think that could be interesting. But hope you guys enjoyed this Art of Cheesing episode. Be sure to check out that gameplay from DeTaaiL on his channel, and I'll see you next time.